Today I'll show you the top 6 most iconic bread from around the world. Get a bib, because you're going to be drooling. Hi, I'm Sune, and I'm a food geek. Today we're exploring the cultural significance and history of 6 of the most iconic bread worldwide. Bread's been a staple food in many cultures for millennia, and each type has its unique story and significance. There are links for my recipes for each of these types of bread in the description below. So let's get started. First up, we have the iconic French baguette. This long, crusty bread is a staple in French cuisine and has become popular in almost every country. Bakers realized in the 19th century that making long, thin loaves of bread cooked faster than larger loaves, so they created the baguette to save time and energy. The word baguette actually means wand or stick in French, which refers to the long and thin shape. The French government passed the Décret Pain in 1993, which specified that bakers should only make authentic French baguettes with 4 ingredients: wheat flour, water, yeast, and salt. They created this law to preserve the traditional methods of making baguettes and prevent using additives and preservatives. During World War II, the German occupation of France led to the shortage of bread. The French government mandated that baguettes could only be made with a certain amount of flour each day, which led to the flute baguette, which is a thinner than the traditional baguette. In 2013, UNESCO added the baguette to the list of intangible cultural heritage. The recognition preserves and celebrates the cultural significance of the baguette in French society and ensures its traditional methods of preparation and consumption are passed down to future generations. Next, naan is a flatbread popular in South Asia, particularly India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. It's typically made with wheat flour and yeast and cooked in a tandoor oven, which gives it a slightly charred and crispy texture. The word naan comes from the Persian word nan, which means bread. Naan is believed to have originated in Central Asia and was brought to South Asia by traders and invaders. In South Asia, you traditionally eat naan with various toppings, including ghee, garlic, herbs, and spices. In other regions, it's served plain and used to scoop up curries and other dishes. Finally, naan has been around for thousands of years, and ancient texts such as the Rig Veda mentions it. The Rig Veda is a collection of Sanskrit hymns from the Indian subcontinent that dates back to around 1700 BCE. Moving on to pita, another flatbread staple in Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cuisines. Pita is made from flour, water, yeast, and salt, and is typically baked at a high temperature, causing it to puff up and form a pocket. The word pita comes from the Greek word pita, which means pie. Pita has existed for thousands of years, and scholars believe that it originates in ancient Egypt. In Greece, street vendors often use pita as the base for the famous street food known as gyro, a sandwich made with grilled meat, vegetables, and tzatziki sauce. Pita is a versatile bread used in various dishes, from sandwiches to dips. It scoops hummus, baba ganoush, and other dips in many Middle Eastern countries. In 2015, Israeli researchers created a new type of pita bread that can stay fresh for up to 2 weeks without preservatives. They use a special kind of flour that helps slow the staling process, making it a healthier and more sustainable option for consumers. Finally, pita has become popular in Western countries. People use them as a base for pizza or other dishes, or even eat them traditionally but with local ingredients. Tortillas are thin flatbreads popular in Mexican and Central American cuisine. Typically, people make them with corn or wheat flour. The word tortilla comes from the Spanish word torta, which means round cake. In Mexico, tortillas are often made by hand using a traditional method known as nixtamalization. It involves soaking corn in a mixture of water and lime, which helps to remove the outer hull and make it more digestible. Note that it's not lime juice, but it's a chemical compound known as calcium hydroxide. In 2003, they created a giant tortilla weighing over 2,000 pounds in Mexico City. The tortilla was over 10 feet in diameter and required a special oven. Finally, tortillas have become popular in the United States, with millions consumed yearly. Tortillas have surpassed bread as the most popular baked good in America, with many people using it as a healthier and more versatile alternative. Let's move on to challah, a type of bread that's a staple in Jewish cuisine. Traditionally, you make challah from flour, water, yeast, eggs, sugar, and salt. Challah is a traditional Jewish bread, typically braided and eaten on the Sabbath and other holidays. According to legend, the bakers shaped the challah to resemble the ladder Jacob saw in the dream. The ladder is said to represent the connection between heaven and earth. During the medieval times, European Jewish bakers had to bake their challah in a specially designed oven to ensure that the bread was kosher. Communal bakeries sometimes housed these ovens, and a rabbi would supervise them. Jewish settlers established the first agricultural settlements in Palestine. They brought the tradition of baking challah, but could not find the ingredients as in Europe. Eventually, they discovered they could substitute the traditional smalts with olive oil and use locally grown wheat to make the bread. Last but not least, we have the iconic bagel, another type of bread that's a staple in Jewish cuisine and has become popular worldwide. Bagels are made from flour, water, yeast, sugar, and salt, and are typically boiled before baking, giving them a unique texture. Bagels were created in Poland in the 17th century to honor King Jan III Sobieski, who had just defeated the Ottoman Turks in battle. The shape of the bagel is said to resemble the king's stirrup. Interestingly, bagels became popular in the States in the early 20th century thanks to Jewish immigrants who brought the recipe. Today, bagels are everywhere, often served with traditional or local ingredients. Here in Denmark, we have bagel shops where you can pick what kind of meats, vegetables, and dressing you want on your bagel. I loved getting a bagel for lunch. In 2008, bakers in New York City created the world's most oversized bagel. The bagel weighed over 800 pounds and was 6 feet in diameter. Bagels have inspired many creative flavor combinations, from savory toppings like cream cheese and smoked salmon to sweet toppings like cinnamon and raisin being popular choices. Recently, there's been a trend towards more unconventional bagel varieties such as rainbow bagels and unicorn bagels, which are often brightly colored and decorated with edible glitter and other toppings. So there you have it, 6 of the most iconic bread from around the world, each with its own unique history, cultural significance, and delicious taste. I have a video recipe for each if you want to try and make these bread. The links are in the description. I hope you learned something today. See you next time.